Hi, this is Misti Burmeister with Inspirion, and we are sharing simple strategies for being powerful. Today I want to talk about how do you get the people on your team to bounce? How do you get them excited about their work so much so that they can't wait to exceed your expectations? So rather than managing people or managing processes or expectations or motivating people with hard work, how do we get them to naturally want to exceed our expectations? And a couple of years ago, a friend of mine, Stacy, took a job with a company, an electronics company up in Hunt Valley, Maryland. And she had, maybe about 6 months after she'd been on the job, I asked her, so what's the vision for this product? And she said, you know, Misty, I really don't know. And then she proceeded to tell me that they had hired a creative director whose job it was to pull out and put on paper Mike, you know, the guy Mike who's in charge of the entire organization, to pull out his vision and put it on paper so that they could all understand it. And this is how this conversation would go between the new creative director and Mike. He'd come in and he'd say, here's what I think you're saying. And Mike would say, yes to this, no to that, yes to this, no, not really that. And so the creative director would go back off and he would try to create again what the vision was and come back and again, and this happened over and over and over again. Nope, that's not it. And then finally, about a year and a half later, roughly a year and a half later, they hire a brand new creative director who in a week's time puts together a presentation, pulls together all hands meeting, and presents to the entire studio, you know, what is the vision for this product? And then he went on to say, here's specifically how each individual group of people, like the artists, the technical people, here's how what you do really contributes, adds value to the vision that we've established. And, you know, when Stacy walked away, she was inspired and she could sense that other people were also inspired. But what was most interesting is a couple of days later, the meetings in the past kind of looked like this. Basically, they had their smartphones and they were playing Angry Birds while the meeting went on. Well, after this guy, this new creative director, did the presentation and established an incredibly inspiring vision for this product, these folks were bouncing all over the place. They were literally jittery. And so Stacy was telling me about this, and so she stopped them and she asked them, well, what's your deal? Why are you all over the place? Literally their response was, I can't wait to get back to my desk to do this work. I want to be a part of this. I want to do what we need to do so that we can achieve this vision. And this is the power of not only a clear vision, but knowing what it is that excites you. This brand new creative director is clearly very excited about the vision that he established. So if you want to get other people to bounce or be excited or exceed expectations, right, which is what they typically tend to do when they're excited, they exceed expectations. If you want them to do that, all you have to do is tap into what inspires you. What leaves you excited and makes you want to get up every day and go to work. When you tap into what excites you and you share that with people, they're going to bounce right alongside you. They're going to be excited and want to participate in whatever it is and be a part of whatever it is you've established. So in that clarity of vision, where are we going? And the excitement around it will get them to want. So you don't have to push them to want to exceed expectations. So ask yourself, what is it that leaves me so excited I can't wait to get out of bed in the morning? What do I love about the work that I'm doing? What leaves me feeling so passionate? And how do I share that with my team? There's a variety of different ways in which to share passion. How do I ensure that they know what we're doing, what we're up to, and that they see the passion that's exuded from me? You bounce, they'll bounce. This is Misti Burmeister with Inspirion. If you have other ideas or you want to share this, click share, it's down here somewhere. If you have other ideas also, please comment on the blog. Would love to hear your thoughts.